everybody, John here. Good to see you. Well, something came across my desk the other day, and we thought we'll do a one-man opinion right here at Hamtramck. Why? Because it seems as how that the powers that be in City Hall want to farm out the firefighters. They want to go, instead of using the Hamtramck firefighters who have been here for 99 years, they're going to try to get the Highland Park firefighters to cover this area. No, okay. Let's go a couple different ways. One, we're always down here every Saturday. We always go to the New Palace in the morning, and then we eat at the restaurants. And we love the city. The city's a nice place. But one thing that an outsider here notices is that the heart and soul of the city is the firefighters. I mean, if there's a boot to pass on Campo, who's there? If there's the chili for charity, who's there? Who's there manning all those things, you know, for the betterment of the city? When we were doing the Take Back the Night, who was with us down Campo with the big fire trucks? Guess who? You know, if that doesn't make sense enough, and it probably doesn't, because I know that all cities are strapped for money, and so that might mean 0.0 at City Hall. However, all right, let's go economically. If I'm going to have a business come down here, because really you're strapped because there's no tax base or it's starting to slide away, I'm thinking, why would I want to open up a business that has no fire department? If I want to buy a house here, what do you think my insurance rates are going to be if I live in a city that has no fire department? I'll tell you, it's going to go through the roof. Okay? So why would I feel good about the public safety around here if there isn't any? Now, one of the biggest things that you're going to see, critically, is response time. Now, Hamtramck Fire Department's right here in the heart of the city, right in the middle. You know, we know where the Highland Park version is, and we'll show you that a little later on. It's kind of spooky. Now, what we have to figure out is, even with the EMS debacle, and we'll talk about that later, but if, say, the Hamtramck Fire Department's all farmed out, are we going to be getting the same level of equipment? Are we going to have the same level of training? Are we going to have the same level of response that we have with the hometown guys here at Hamtramck? I wonder. So far we haven't seen anything like that. So this is what we're going to do. We went around the city, we did some pre-production. We took GPS and we went from the GPS location from both the Hamtramck Fire Department and the Highland Park Fire Department and see what the response times are like. Now remember, in a fire, every second counts. Every second counts. By 45 seconds, you're probably sucking up enough smoke to knock you out. In about maybe 3 minutes or so, I think your internals start baking inside of you. It's not a happy experience. So, let's go right now, and we're going to go to different parts of the city of Hamtramck. We'll show you what response times look like. It'll just amaze you. Behind me you see St. Florian, perhaps the most recognizable church around this whole area. Ironically enough, it is the patron saint for firefighters. Now, if you're in there celebrating Mass with your family, if for some bad reason something broke out fire-wise, it would take the Hamtramck firefighters 2 minutes to get to you. If you had a call over to Highland Park, it would take 8 minutes for them to get to you. Here's something for you too, a landmark here on Joseph Campo Stradex, one of our favorite places to go get meats. Now, if fire broke out in here, unfortunately, it would take 2 minutes for your Hamtramck Fire Department to come here. Otherwise, it's going to take eight full minutes for Highland Park to show up here. By that time, your kielbasa would be burnt. This should bring it a little bit closer to home for folks who are actually thinking about doing the budget cuts here. If there was a fire that broke out here at City Hall, by the time somebody hit the button, it would take 60 seconds for your fire department, the Hamtramck boys, to get here. 1 minute. Now, if you're up there somewhere, trapped in a fire, smoke going like crazy, if by some odd chance you can reach your phone and call the Highland Park Fire Department, it's going to take 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. By that time, you have a 0.00001 chance that they find your body. Get that? You have almost no chance of surviving a fire here at 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit if you're trapped up there and you're waiting 9 minutes. Think about that, won't you please? You know, and there's another thing. I forgot to say this before. I am sure that with all the concessions that the Hamtramck firefighters took, that City Council took and the Mayor took, right? I mean, I'm sure that you guys went down as low as they did, or otherwise, really, I don't know why. Oh, I don't know. City Council couldn't be farmed out. Detroit City Council won't be doing anything pretty soon, so why do we really need a City Council? We'll just farm them out. We're here at Veterans Park, the historic Veterans Park on the south side of Hamtramck. So if you live around here, if something went on, a fire went on at your house, it would take the Hamtramck firefighters 5 minutes to get to you. If you had to call Highland Park, it'd be 11 minutes to get to you. Good luck. Here's something that we probably haven't discussed. Now, Hamtramck has a really good reputation of having really nice bars around here. Behind us is, of course, the Polish Sea League. You can tell Joe didn't put a whole lot of money into the landscaping, but when you open that door, it's perhaps one of the finest bars here in Hamtramck. Extremely friendly place, which brings a lot of people down here. All right, so now here's what happens. Of all the bars that are around here, if they're filled to capacity like they are for the Metro blowout kind of thing, what happens if a fire goes on? Well, we'll tell you. If something goes on at the Polish Sea League, it's going to take 2 minutes for the gentleman to come down from the Hamtramck Fire Department to start saving lives. Over on the other side, it's going to take 7 minutes if you're coming from Highland Park. Here's some quick ones for you, depending on who you're going to call. Now here's the 1 minute runs. 1 minute run for your hometown Hamtramck firefighters. It's 1 minute for this, I guess they're going to have a new mosque coming into town right here on Campo and Kniff, Campo and Kniff. 1 minute. If you're going to call the fine friends from over there, 7. New Palace Bakery, one of our very favorite places that we see every Saturday. 1 minute for these guys, 8 minutes for the team out to the west. Really want a real thrill? Here we go. We are standing in front of the Highland Park Fire Department. That's what it looks like. Tell them we're here on the corner of Kniff and McKay. This is the Hamtramck Fire Hall. I mean, you can tell by the pride. I mean, look at the difference between the two. We saw what the Highland Park place looks like. Now, it might be just fine. It might look like Star Wars in there. They may have wonderful equipment in there, but I mean, if that's what the outside looks like, this place, if you're lucky enough to come by on an early Saturday morning, somewhere around 8 o'clock-ish or something, all the trucks are out here at the Hamtramck place. The lights are all going on. It looks like a disco. But what are they doing? They're washing their car. They're washing the trucks. They make sure these things are in perfect running order. Now, they just got a new truck. The thing that I think is kind of amazing is they got a grant for, I think it's 12 firefighters that they can have that the government gave to them. And for some god reason, I think I'm hearing that City Council, and when I say City Council, I mean either the city manager or the mayor or whoever's in City Hall making these decisions, are thinking about throwing that grant away. All right, there's got to be a reason, because when you read that right off the top, you're getting a grant, it's paying for firefighters, it's sorely needed, and you're thinking about throwing it away. Somewhere in the bottom, you kind of go, how stupid is that? Here we are on Burger Street in the middle of the neighborhood. Right behind me is the middle school here. Now, here's a pretty unique thing. If something fire were to break out in here, and again, when I say if a fire breaks out, I wish that never to happen, okay? But if one did, you know what? I'm standing on this sidewalk. My child is in there. Now, this is a child that I have hopes for and dreams for, and bought them the first bike and had little videos with their first birthday. Here's the scoop. If I'm standing on the sidewalk here, a fire breaks out, glass is busting out all the place, I can hear my kids screaming in there. I can't get in there. Do I want the 60 seconds, the 1 minute it's going to take the Hamtramck firefighters to get here? Or am I going to have to wait incredible 8 minutes. 8 minutes. for the Highland Park gentlemen to show up, firefighters to show up. Can you imagine what having to hear your child scream in agony is going to be like for 8 full minutes to save some money? And if I can hear the agony down here, just think about what my kid is being up there in 1100 degrees for 8 minutes feels like. We're at Buffalo and Kniff right now. We're right behind the Outer Limits. It used to be a really fabulous bar, and now it's been vacant for a while. Now, the cool thing is, if you had a fire problem over here, it would take the Hamtramck firefighters 2 minutes to get here. If you had to wait for the Highland Fire Department, 10 minutes. So hopefully in that 10 minutes they found some kind of smoldering something of your home left. In 2 minutes you got a pretty good shot. Here's something that I need to know a little bit more about. The Hamtramck Fire Department had an EMS unit here since 1980, I believe. Now what happened was they have 2 older EMS trucks, or older, they had 100,000 miles on them, said the paper. They pulled up, I guess last week, a couple days ago, and to transport a 9-year-old boy who was having seizures and breathing problems. And what happened was the engine in one of the EMS units misfired, died, and they had called for another EMS unit on the way. However, through how it all went, they finally got a neighbor to transport the boy. The boy's doing fine by my understand right now, but the city manager after that put the kibosh on all the EMS trucks here. Okay, so you would think, okay, so let's put money into the EMS units and bring them up to snuff for the residents right here. Oh no. The thought was, and what they did was in closed session, if I remember correctly, is that they privatized them all. Now there's supposed to be 3 EMS trucks around the city here. Now we've been here for about 6 hours and 18 minutes now, and we haven't seen an EMS unit anywhere. So what would happen if there was an emergency right now? What's going to be the response time? And also we've read where the city manager said it wouldn't cost a dime for any of the residents here. How does that work? We're sitting in front of the Polish Disneyland now. It's a wonderful thing. Some gentleman put it all together just to make people smile. That's pretty kind of cool. Now here's the kind of a fun thing. I bet you that every single firefighter in Hamtramck knows where this is at. It's in the alleyway of Klinger. Now, would all the firefighters in Highland Park know where it's at? Doubtful. Matter of fact, it's double the time. It's 3 minutes here for the Hamtramck folks, and it's 6 minutes for the Highland Park folks. Now, again, what we want to overemphasize is we like the folks from Highland Park. Nice people. You know, we have nothing against them. They're firefighters, and all firefighters have our respect. Here's a side note for you. Cheyenne and I were here at Hamtown Farms last year when all the volunteers came up here. And it's really a great idea. I mean, some agriculture here in the middle of a couple places, a couple of empty lots. Whoever putting this together did a heck of a job. Now, you'll notice that there's a couple of water things behind us. There's a fire hydrant over there. They had a couple of Hamtramck's finest firefighters that were here. Not only were they keeping the water going on, but they were actually volunteering here with their own time, sweating, and it was a hot, hot day that day. If I'm mistaken, I remember seeing the mayor do a little something, but I don't remember seeing a lot of city council here. So really, if you're talking about who's got the community's heart in mind, Hamtramck is finally making a comeback. I mean, they finally settled that lawsuit, thank God, and there's allegedly supposed to be 100 new homes being built around here. That's great, except for here on Norwalk, we can stick our hands out and touch 2 different homes. Now, a lot of these homes look like they were built in the 20s, maybe 30s. They're wood frame homes, 2-story, 2-flat, maybe 2-family kind of thing. So now what we have to ask ourselves is this. These homes are going to go up like crazy because nobody calls when there's a spark on the floor. They call because the flames are out of control. By that time, it's showtime. Every second counts. Now, I have a fire department that's right over here, maybe a minute away, maybe at best 3, 4, 5 minutes away from my house. And they know where I live. These guys know where Emens is. These guys know where Norwalk is. These guys know the whole city. As flames, if I'm stuck up there, you're stuck up there. As flames are coming up, somebody's punching this into a GPS and waiting, trying to figure out where it's going. Of course, they're going to be en route, but they don't know exactly where they're going to be. These guys do. I don't have time to wait. Neither do you. So now what do we have here? Lost property, maybe loss of life. Okay, is it worth it? Also, Hamtramck isn't near West Bloomfield, so insurance companies get a little bit nervous anyways. Now all I have to do is say, yeah, I need to get fire insurance to my home, and we don't have a fire department in our city. How much do you think your insurance rates are going to go up? They're not going to go down, folks, you know. So this is what we're trying to figure out. Oh, I forgot also that the fire department here knows all the businesses around here also. They've also gone into these businesses and labeled all kinds of, they know what they have inside, or perhaps they have an oil in there, or perhaps they have a certain chemical in there that would take, instead of putting water onto their businesses, they'll use foam or something to put it out. It's critical, folks, it truly is. Now, with all this going down, potential loss of life, potential loss of place, also with the thing with the Great White Incident, as it's coming known now, the entertainment section where the Great White Band played, and those people unfortunately perished in that bar because they farmed out their fire department in that city. Nobody's gone back there. Hamtramck can't afford to lose one patron out of here, like not one, okay? So let's ask ourselves Tuesday at the meeting, shall we? What's worth it? Loss of life, loss of property, people not coming back? Or is there some other way that we can figure out how to save some money somewhere else? Let's think about that. John Sauer, I'll see you later.